All right. What you're seeing here today is the final practice before the Palmer, Alaska Highland Games, um, which was good. It was decent games for me. Uh, this would be a pretty typical, what I would call like a primer or tune-up practice. It was held on, I believe, a Wednesday before the game. So, um, I threw on a Sunday for this particular game, so it was about 3 days rest leading into the games. Normally, I'd say better for me would be like Thursday and have 2 full days of rest. Um, the key is that the practice isn't really intense. If you're relying on the week of practice to get better or to get to make substantial improvement, you're behind in the count already. So you just need to make sure that um, your game is strong prior to the week before, and then most everything that you do during the week leading in the games is intentional. The volume kind of gets lowered by the end of the training week, which, like I said, is ideally 2 days out for me. I'm really just taking some throws to hit some positions. Might not even touch a heavy weight. I think that was the 42-pound weight, so that technically was my heavyweight. But I'm probably not going to touch the 56 more than closer than about 3 days out. But yeah, it's mostly just hitting positions, being smooth, not really trying to rip on things. If I'm gonna take one real yeety throw, it's gonna probably be with a lightweight, and it's only gonna be one. And that's only if everything's feeling pretty good, because I don't want to like have this weird thing about kind of building a training scar. So I'm trying to do that, and I did that here with Sheaf. I just wanted to basically just feel the throw, and that was it. I took one pull on that Sheaf. It looked good. It felt good. That's where I left it, and that's about what you should be doing. Again, don't try to build anything new the week of. Just work on the same things you've been working on, finding the cues that you need at this point in your throws, and then just execute those cues. Like, again, you're not going to get substantially better the week leading into the meet or into the competition. So just do the things you've needed to do leading up to that. The work is already done. The hay's already in the barn. We're just going to execute, right? So yeah, like I said, with that Sheaf, Sheaf has been feeling pretty good lately. I got to give a shout out to my boy Bryce, who reset me there in Utah. He didn't tell me anything remarkable, or he didn't give me this neat trick to add 2 feet to my Sheaf. He just reminded me of what I needed to do, and how I needed to execute that. And he did it in a way. He's a good coach. He's a great coach. I can encourage anybody to reach out to him and see what he has. He runs a Rookie for Life performance, kind of on his side gig, and he knows how to communicate with an athlete, how to get you thinking in terms of how to make the body do something rather than make the implement do something. Something I'm a big proponent of. I don't like to talk about the hand making the implement do something, or the implement doing a certain thing. I like to tell people and tell myself, what do I need to make my body do? And if I can make my body do things, that's more, there's more control there. Just more control. The closer you get to center line, the more control you have over your body. And thus, the more control you have over the shape of the throw. If that makes any sense to y'all. I don't know. So the thing that he told me was, hey, just drive your chest down over your right foot. I combine that with obviously the rest of my technique that I've done over the years, that I've built over the years, and was able to translate it into having consistent performance in the Sheaf. And since I left Utah, I've had pretty consistent performance in the Sheaf. Set some, I'm not saying PRs, because I've had some adverse conditions, but again, testament to it. We throw in adverse conditions. Even if the adverse conditions is just that one Sheaf bag isn't as nice or as the same shape as the next Sheaf bag. It doesn't matter if you're controlling your body, what the implement is doing, right? You're going to get the most out of that particular implement. So yeah, it just, when you're training and you're thinking of cues, when you're thinking of how to do something, think about how you make your body do something and not how the implement goes. That's probably not earth-shattering advice for many of you, but some of you might, might be thinking like, how do I get this thing to do what I want it to do? So anyway, that was the practice, like I said, leading into the Alaska games. You'll be seeing footage soon of basically my recap of the Alaska games and my first games as a master. So stay tuned for that video. Enjoy what you see here. Talk to y'all later.